I feel lonely every single day. Loneliness to the point where I feel almost isolated, disconnected, and it leaves a pit in my stomach that I can only describe as not dread, but it's hopelessness, is what it really is. It's hopelessness. I feel like a lot of young men go through this. A lot of young men struggle with this, especially now. Just know that you're not alone in it, and I'm praying for you. I really am. It's hard. It really is. I kind of want to just talk about my personal experience with this type of feeling, this feeling of hopelessness, this feeling of being lost, because I feel it every day. And I know a lot of other people do too, and they just don't talk about it. But you're not alone in it. I just want to let you know that off the bat. You're not alone in it. So many people people experience the same exact shit. I mean, the amount of people that you think don't think the same way you do, they think the same way you do. Trust me, you are not alone. Personally, with my experience, I would get to the point of feeling this pit in my stomach, and this pit in my stomach usually came with the thoughts of suicide, or more came with the idolization of it. And that's extremely unhealthy mindset to put yourself into. And unfortunately, like I said, a lot of people have this issue. I used to feel like I didn't really matter, like I was pushed to the side for most of my life, like I was always the odd person out, you know what I mean? Like I was always the side character in somebody else's bigger story, right? That's always kind of how I felt. And it always seemed to me that if I were to kill myself right now, you know, how long would it take for people to forget me? How quickly would I turn into a memory? How quickly will I fade away out of people's minds? And that thought itself fills me with so much dread, so much horror, that it puts me in a really, really dark place. I feel like the world right now, especially with social media, it's almost as if things are being manufactured to make men feel this way, or just maybe not just men, people in general, to feel this way. And I think it's evil. I think it's cruel. I think it's a sick marketing tactic. I think it's satanic. It is actively sucking your soul. It is actively sucking your soul, taking your hope, taking your momentum, taking your purpose. And all it does is allow you to compare yourself to people that you've never met, that you've never interacted with. And that fucks you up mentally, especially at a young age. You become, at least for me in my experience, I've become nihilistic in almost a way where I despised people. You know, anyone who looked or seemed happy, I was like, fuck you, bro. You a bitch. You know what I mean? Like to the point where I was so unhappy I couldn't help but spread my unhappiness, because it's all I had. All I had was my unhappiness. You know, all I had was my loneliness. All I had was my lack of hope. And I still get these feelings, and the reason I'm making this video right now is because I felt that way. And I was like, fuck it. I'm going to turn on this camera. I'm going to make a little video about it. Just know you're not alone in it. You're not. Because I think a lot of people feel like they're completely alone in it. Like they think they're crazy, or they think They're ungrateful. Nope. Trust me, bro. A lot of people feel the exact same way. You know, I'm by myself in my room right now, and it's one of those things where it's kind of like I don't know, it's kind of like the Schrodinger's cat almost, where like say I were to kill myself, right? How long, like, if no one were to find me if I killed myself, right? If no one were to find me, technically, to anybody, would I really be dead, or would I just be gone? I know it's kind of stupid to like say, but I think you know I think you know what I mean. Like, would I be treated as somebody who was still alive, or would I be treated as somebody who's just in the past as a memory? And even then, that is a big fear of mine, because you know, we're all gonna get lost to history, and I think a lot of people need to understand that. We're all gonna be lost to history. I mean, one man, especially the average man, is a fucking grain of sand on a beach of history. And unfortunately, that's how it's always going to be. The way I've kind of tried to pull myself out of it is with reading, I guess, just reading and trying to become one with God, trying to become one with a higher power of any sort. You know what I mean? It's the only way. It really is the only way. You know, people have, you know, for many years I've looked down on religion. It was part of my nihilism almost, where I felt like, well, God doesn't exist because good things don't always happen. But that's not necessarily true. And I'm not going to go into that, but it's the world is what you make it. You know, you can't change anything around you. You can't change the way people feel. You know, you kind of have to get to a point where you understand, well, why do I care how this motherfucker, how this person would feel if I was dead, right? Why would I care? You know, it's just everything is so existential for me. Like, everything is so much bigger in my brain than it really is. But you know, it's just sad. I get these feelings of loss, of being lost, of not having a direction, of no trail. It's like being in the woods with no trail, and someone's telling you to head somewhere, but you've just been placed in the middle of the woods and you have no idea where the fuck you're heading. You just know that there's a destination you need to get to, but you have no idea how to get there. I know I sound like a fucking idiot, but you know, it's late. It's so late. You know, the world is changing a lot. And I'm not really talking about politically, but culturally. People's mindsets are changing. People's attitudes are changing. And a lot of people are taking it in a very bad way. I feel like a lot of people feel like we're pulling away from good values. We're pulling away from being good people. Everything is so manufactured and fake and slimy and just sneaky. It's just even things that were once good, I feel like are becoming corrupted by either like I said, the world changing and cultures changing and values changing, or maybe we're just getting older. You know, maybe part of it is just we're getting super old and things are just glimmer for us. You know what I mean? Grim. Things are just more grimmer. Things are a lot grimmer for us. you know, it just sucks. It really does suck, and it's just one of those feelings that I deal with on a daily basis, and I know a lot of men do. I know a lot of men do. A feeling of literally being like, you could be surrounded by a group of people, with people that you love, people that you chill with all the time, and there's still this weird feeling in your stomach that none of this matters, because at the end of the day, nobody really knows me. Nobody really knows who I am except me. And that feeling in itself makes you feel totally and utterly alone. Because when nobody else around you understands you except you, all you have is you. And, you know, after a while, that creates isolation. You start to create distance with people. You start to reject people almost for not accepting you or for not understanding the way you feel. And that's a really bad way to go about it. I know I did it. I made a lot of really bad decisions based off of emotionally charged I made emotionally charged decisions that have affected me for a while, and I just want people to understand you can't let it get to you. You really can't. There's a place for everybody. Everybody's going to find their way in the world at some point. Everybody is going to get what they deserve. I promise you. I fucking promise you. Everybody is going to get what they deserve if you just keep pushing for it. If what you want is a great job, if what you want is a really beautiful girlfriend or a wife or whatever the hell, if what you want is a big house, if what you want is a family, whatever the fuck it is that you want, you can do it as long as you keep your mind on the prize. Even if you get sidetracked a little bit, come back. You need to come back. It is your duty to come back. It's your duty to not only your family, but it's a duty to God. It's your duty to be a better person. It's your duty to escape this feeling of dread, escape that feeling of hopelessness, escape that feeling of loneliness, and grab your life back. Take it back. Please, you gotta take it back. You gotta take it back. Because if you don't, when you're 50 years old, it's not gonna be good. You're not gonna have a good time. You're not gonna be somebody that people want to be around. And, you know, I know nobody wants that. I know nobody wants to be the person that nobody wants to be around. And, you know, I feel like a lot of people also feel like that. Like, they're the person that nobody wants to be around. Like, they're the odd man out. Like, nothing they do really impacts, really nothing is that they do is meaningful to anyone else around them, essentially. And even if it's true, man, you gotta let it go. You just gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. If you don't, it's going to eat you from the inside and turn you into a fucking monster. You will become somebody that you do not recognize. You'll become hateful. You'll become spiteful. You'll become selfish. You'll become envious and jealous. And you will trap yourself in an echo chamber of your own bullshit, just trying to excuse yourself for all the terrible things for all the terrible choices you've made and the way you've treated people, and, excusing your actions for the way you feel is not going to be a safe way to go about it. So find God, love your family, understand that everything is happening for a reason. Everything is happening for a reason, whether you believe that or not. God is working with you, not against you. And yeah, I just want to let everybody know that I love you guys. Keep up the good fight. Keep up the good fight. That's all I could say. That's all I could really say. But anyway, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I hope, my little spiel here can kind of help you, at least come out of, if you're in some sort of state right now, just hearing somebody else explain their experience or whatever the fuck, even if I sound like a complete retard, I don't care. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.